So to change this out in the field is real easy. Once you open the box, all the parts you're going to need are going to be vacuum sealed like this. And you're going to have an installation guide that'll show all those parts in real easy step-by-step instructions. So what will come with it are 2 new compressor heads with special attenuation chambers as well. You're going to get a new valve plate, and the guide will have pictures of what that looks like as well, both top and bottom. You're going to get new sets of T25 Torx head, 1032 thread fasteners, 4 for each compressor head. And then you'll get some extra pipe plugs as well. Tools you'll need, obviously a T25 Torx head, T-handle, or adapter for a speed wrench would be fine. 1/4-inch Allen wrench, flathead screwdriver, or channel locks, or appropriate box wrench to remove this compression fitting and this elbow fitting. The very first thing you're going to do for safety is disconnect the power, bleed down or relieve any head pressure from the compressor itself. After that, you'll take a wrench and you'll remove this compression fitting from this air line that goes straight from the compressor down to the surge tank. And then you'll remove this elbow fitting to get that out of the way. You're going to reuse that actually on the new set of parts. Once all 8 of those T25 Torx head screws are removed, the compressor heads lift right off. This valve plate will lift right off as well. Those fasteners hold both of those parts. And if you flip it, you should see 2 orange O-rings. You want to make sure they go with the original parts that are being removed because you have a new set of seals and O-rings as well. If you lift off the compressor head itself, you'll see gaskets that fit on top of the valve plate that seal the intake versus exhaust on the compression side of the cylinder head also. When you have a new set of sound shield parts, you can do the same. You can put them all together, hold that valve plate, make sure those new O-rings are in place, and you're going to want to flip that and make sure that that intake valve is what you're looking at on the bottom side of that valve plate. Make sure those are facing you, facing the front of the compressor. You're not going to touch anything. The tops of the cylinders themselves, don't move those, don't remove those. As long as you're careful with that, this new valve plate will slide right on top. And you want to make sure that you feel it go flush. What you're feeling is those O-ring seals coming down on top of that cylinder, and that nice and sealed. Reinstall all the new T25 Torx head fasteners. Do a cross pattern. 50 inch-pounds is the torque spec. If you don't have a torque wrench, it's really not that big of a deal. Make sure they're nice and tight, maybe mid-range on your speed drill for torque setting as well. Once that is on and secure, the removal of this shroud temporarily. What you're going to do that easily is take just a flathead screwdriver. Be careful because you're not going to want to crack, of course, or break the shroud. Just get underneath each of those 4 little rabbit ears and they'll pop right off. And once you have that removed, now what's exposed is the cooling fan. You're just making sure as you turn that fan, you'll see the piston rod go up and down. You're going to want to make sure that it goes up and down freely with each compression stroke. So that's just to double check with it. And that shroud would just snap right back. Reinstall your elbow fitting. You're going to want to put some sealant or some tape on that fitting, reapply that so that there's no leaks. The compression fitting won't need that from the airline. That'll just go right back on the other side of that elbow. And make sure that connection is secure. Lastly, just keep in mind that what got removed in the original set of parts was this external intake filter as well. You're not going to need that on the set of sound shield parts. All the internal filters are inside each head, and that's all you're going to need. What that also means, you will have had a port open where you don't need that external filter anymore, and that's why you get a new set of pipe plugs. Some other ports might be open as well. Just make sure they're all closed with those pipe plugs. Use that 1/4-inch Allen wrench, as well as where you would have normally seen that intake filter on that standard set of parts. Once that's all done and everything's connected and secure, you can reconnect power, turn it on. You should be able to have your factory settings and your pressure switch still in place. And you should be able to go back to normal and start enjoying even quieter sound level.